I don't know how painfully obvious this is, but I don't have much hair on my head at the moment. Yes, you can clearly see for yourself, and this is by choice, 100%. I cut my hair every single morning, not every morning, every 2 days, every day depending on how I feel. But there was a period in my life when I had a very full, thick head of hair. It was a lion's mane up here. Just look at those locks of glory. The best thing you've ever seen in your life. Amazing on every level. This was when I was in high school and I could pull my hair down all the way to my mouth because I do have naturally very curly hair. And now what I have is a far cry from those days of the glory locks. Now I have a chrome dome, which under the proper lighting does offer a nice shine. When I was a young feller going to the barber would tell me, you have a very nice thick head of hair. They could barely get a comb through it. They had a hard time even cutting any pieces of hair off. And I felt so proud of myself, especially because I knew that baldness ran in my family. My father, he had lost so much hair by the time he was only 18. My grandfather, he was chrome dome since I knew him. I knew him when he was like 60, but that doesn't change the point. He was always a chrome dome. And I didn't know I was going to be following in their footsteps later, except I would be doing it on purpose. As I started to get older, my hair just kept getting thicker and thicker, although I didn't really have much skills in terms of styling what was on top of my head. I hated using combs, so I always walked around with this freshly just out of bed haircut, and it always looked like I was having a bad hair day. I thought I was the coolest cat in school. I thought everybody wanted to be like me. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The case was, man, I really could use some styling up, and nobody at the time really told me I had to change my hair. I don't know why. I wish somebody was like, yo, bro, you gotta change your hair. That thing looks like a dead skunk up there, but no one ever said that. And as is the case with most dudes, when you're in your early to mid-20s, you start to lose a lot of the hair, especially from the sides and the top, and that's what happened to me. And my hairline started to look like a shark fin was growing on my head out of nowhere. And it was really, really bad considering I had a full head of hair for so long and took a lot of pride in it. But now, this thing just looked embarrassing and I didn't know what to do. I thought maybe I should take some hair growth supplements. So I started to take those pills that I bought from Amazon with the hopes that it would regrow my hair follicles, but nothing happened. Then I looked into getting some Rogaine. And if you don't know what Rogaine is, it's this cream-like substance that you put on your head and it essentially helps prevent hair loss. But the catch with Rogaine is you have to use it for life, essentially, because the second you stop using it, all the hair that was supposed to fall out before falls out. It's like, it's my turn now. I am going off on an adventure and it just dives right off. And next thing you know, all the hair you should have lost years ago is coming off your head in a matter of days. So you go from full head of hair to chrome dome in record time. I started to take these photos of my scalp to see if I was actually losing more and more hair, and as the days went on, it became painfully obvious that I was. And I didn't know what to do. I was starting to get to a point where I wanted to hold on to my head of hair, but I also didn't want to look like this because I know this just looked so bad. And I knew it was only a matter of time until it was gone. And I didn't have much of a choice. And something happened which was a blessing in disguise. That thing we call the C word, and also a P word. The panda bear of COVIDness hits. And all the barbers across the country, everywhere, were closed. And all of a sudden, I was left with a dilemma. Do I let my hair grow back out into the nice big curly golden locks and fluffiness that once bestowed my head? Or do I take my trimmer and go to town, hit the reset button, and come out with a fresh, bald head of hair? And that's what I did. I started to cut my hair completely bald to zero. At first, I thought it was going to be only temporary. Little did I know, I was actually making one of the best decisions of my entire life because, well, look at me now. The chrome dome, the bald head, is kind of like a trademark at this point. I can't imagine myself having hair now, which is weird to say. Now, whenever I think of myself in my own head, I'm always bald. And you can see clearly that if I wanted to, I could regrow my hair. It would be no problem whatsoever. The thing is, I do not want to. For some reason, I have this disdain of paying for one of two things. And anytime I have to pay for these one of two things, it always irks my heart. It hurts me in the soul. It pisses me off to no extent. But it's the truth. Those two things, parking and barbers. I hate paying for those two things. Absolutely with a passion. So, cutting my own hair lets me not pay for one of those two things. And also, I don't have a car right now, so I don't got to ever pay for parking. So that's literally just two birds knocked off with one stone. And as long as I have a trimmer, I can keep cutting my own hair. And I think for the foreseeable future, I'm going to stay like this. I'm not going to grow my hair back. I have thought about it, growing it back again, maybe for a special occasion. Maybe if I hit 10 million subscribers, I might grow it back then. The thing is, it's just so much maintenance to have a full head of hair. I would rather not have any hair. Then I don't have to do any maintenance whatsoever. I can just wake up, never have to worry about bad hair days, never have to worry about styling it, although I didn't have that problem before anyway. It's just never an issue. It is never a problem. The only thing I have to worry about now is if I'm somewhere with too much sun, I have to wear a hat, otherwise I get sunburn on my head. And in the winter, I live in Canada where it's really, really cold most of the time, at least for 6 months of the year. I have to wear a nice, big, thick hat because a lot of the heat from your body leaves via your head. And to prevent that, I gotta wear a hat, which keeps me nice and warm. So for the foreseeable future, Team Chrome Dome continues. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you next time.